Earth 449, Peter Parker gets an early wake-up call from Jameson to take pictures of a new villain causing a ruckus at the park. Arriving on location, Parker gets subdued quickly by Morlun. He snaps Spidey's neck and begins to feed. Loom World, Earth 001, Morlun returns home welcomed by his siblings Damos and Verna. The sister hungers for a meal and calls her servants to prepare the hounds for a hunt. Damos pokes fun at Morlun, stating that he is avoiding Earth 616, but Morlun lashes back, stating that he is saving this world for last. The older brother has now set his eyes for Earth 616 and demands the Spider Weaver to open the doors for his hunt. Earth 616. Peter Parker is awakened by Cindy Moon in her new costume. She casually tells him that she should stay in the city and he should leave for somewhere far. Before they could start mating like spider bunnies, Spider-Man and Silk goes out for some web slinging. It does not take long before the two discovers a group of bank robbers dressed up like spider soldiers from back when Doc Ock had his own Spider Island. The robbers are caught easily enough, except for one straggler that runs from the scene. Just like the Drew and the protege Spider-Girl stands idly by to watch the two heroes go about their heroing. Suddenly, Spidey 2999 appears on scene to catch the one robber. He demands to speak to Parker regarding his encounter with Morlun. Not long after, Spider UK and Mayday Parker arrives on scene. While attempting an escape, the robber gets sucker punched by Spider-Ham. The gathering of Spider heroes discusses their current threat. A family of Inheritors are hunting them down, and they seek the one man that has defeated Morlun, the 616 Spider-Man. Spider UK opens the portal to enter a safe zone for them to discuss their current threat uninterrupted. Mount Wiggore, home base of the New Warriors. Damon has laid waste to this facility and has the Scarlet Spider beaten to a pulp. Kane attempts to retaliate, but Damon still maintained the upper hand. Suddenly, a portal opens and a small gang of Spider heroes arrive to assist the Scarlet Spider. Bruce Banner Spider-Man attacks Damos head-on, giving Spider-Gwen and Ben Reilly much-needed time to rescue Kane. The mysterious Spider-Man, whose identity is unrevealed, informs the group that Bruce Banner has fallen and they must retreat now. They manage to escape but lost of Spider-Man for the Scarlet Spider. Earth 13. The gathering of 20 or so Spider heroes discusses the threat of Morlun and his family. 616 Peter discovers that this Earth is safe due to its Spider-Man never giving up the powers of Captain Universe, thus he keeps the powers of a god. But Cosmic Spider-Man cannot leave this Earth, for if he departs, the god powers will remain and he will return to his normal state. But if one man is needed to win the war, Cosmic Spider-Man will give up his powers to be the hero that he is. Earth 610. Miles Morales and Jessica Drew pays their respect to Morales' mother. They reflect upon their journey to this point, but suddenly, the inheritor Verna arrives to devour them both. Loom World, Earth 001. The Inheritors gather for their meal. Upon their dinner table are the deceased Spider-Man served on golden platters. Damon is hungry and attempts to eat, but the father demands that the family wait for Morlun, his prized child. Not long after, Morlun returns home with his meal thrown over his shoulder. Morlun discovers that Damos has ventured to Earth 616. Upset, he lashes out at his older brother. The father stops the fight and monologues on why they are here and why they play an important role in the multiverse. Suddenly, a dying Spider-Man on the dinner table speaks up and says that they will be stopped. Morlun grabs him by the hair and tells him that all he is good for is food. With those words, the father declares, dinner time has begun. Earth 1610. The issue begins with Verna and her forces preparing to kill Miles Morales and Jessica Drew. Suddenly, the Superior Spider Army arrives and takes out the lackeys. The Superior Spider-Man demands that the two spiders come with them. Spider-Punk states, "You heard the big man, spider up or die." The Spider Army departs, leaving a very pissed off Verna swearing vengeance on Miles and Jessica. Earth 13, the safe zone. The Spider Army is distributed and carefully selected in order to find the Inheritors and bring them into the safe zone for the Cosmic Spider-Man to take care of business. Silk requests to join in on the mission but is firmly denied. The Spider Heroes enter the portal, but unfortunately, Silk sneaks right in before the portal closes right up behind her. Earth 9214, the future and the home world of the Spider-Man 2099. The Spider Army exits the portal and is greeted by the Superior Spider Army. Ashley Barton announces the arrival of the other Spider Army. The Superior Spider-Man has finally met the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man Last Stand confirms that the leader of this Superior Spider Army is in fact from Earth 616. The Amazing Spider-Man got his confirmation, but instead of confronting Doc Ock, he stays quiet. For now. After months of research, the superior Spider-Man announces a new device that can cloak their scent from the Inheritors. But there is a problem. Silk and Kane's scent is off the charts and the cloaking device will not work on them. Suddenly, after a flash of lightning, Damos has arrived. But the superior Spider-Man is ready. He states, "Team, like I trained you, attack." Long range opens fire, followed up with a melee attackers going straight for the vital organs. At the end, Damos does not stand a chance and he is declared dead. But the Amazing Spider-Man remembers that when he killed Morlun, the body should crumble into dust. Last Stand Spider-Man prepares to deliver vital information, but suddenly, from behind, Damos snaps his neck. The twins, along with Damos, has arrived and round 2 is about to begin. Ben Reilly and Kane notices that the body of Damos is still very much dead on the floor. They deduce that cloning is in play, and along with Jessica Drew from 1610, they depart to Damos' last known dimension. The Amazing Spider-Man takes time out of the battle between Spider and Inheritor to retrieve vital information from the Spider-Man Last Stand. We discover that the mysterious Spider-Man is actually Ezekiel from the world where his Peter Parker had died and he took up the mantle of the Spider. Ezekiel informs the Amazing Spider-Man that only 3 Spider Totems are vital to the mission: the Scion, the Other, and the Bride. Without notice, Silk snatches the teleporter away from the Amazing Spider-Man. Because of her tagging along, which caused the Inheritor attack, she will now draw them away, keeping the Spider Army safe. The Amazing Spider-Man prepares to follow her, but the Spider-Woman and Noir Spider-Man takes his place to follow Silk to keep her safe. While the Inheritors are distracted, the main team takes Damos' body and retreat back to the safe zone. Earth 13, the safe zone. The broken Spider Army returns home. They declare that the Spider-Man Last Stand did not make it. Suddenly, 616 Peter Parker experiences his Spider senses flaring. The superior Spider-Man states, "Time for talking is over. Don't you get it? This is war. And from this point on, I'm in charge." Earth 13, the safe zone. Peter Parker squares off against a superior Spider-Man. 616 Peter declares that he is the leader, not the superior Spider-Man. Doc Ock offers a challenge to Parker to take the lead, which results in a punch in the face courtesy of the Amazing Spider-Man. If the argument cannot be solved diplomatically, then a fight it is. The two engage in battle while the other Spider heroes places their bet on who would win. During the battle, Parker discovers that Doc Ock believes that he is from the future and the Amazing Spider-Man is from the past. Using this fact to his advantage, Parker surrenders and the superior Spider-Man stops his attack, deciding that it would not be in his favor to damage his past self. During the confusion, Parker throws a right hook, knocking the superior Spider-Man out of consciousness. Parker states, "Killing's not the answer, it never is. We need to do better, that is why I'm in charge." Earth 13989. Karn has killed another Spider Totem, but his desire to return home and regain his father's approval grows more and more with every Spider Totem kill. Meanwhile, at the Inheritor homeworld, Lord Solus, the father of the Inheritors, has a talk with his treasured son Morlun. At this point, even Lord Solus knows about Morlun's fear of one specific Spider Totem. Morlun corrects him, stating that all that he is concerned about is the prophecy of the Other, the Scion, and the Bride. Lord Solus states, "Gather your brother Genix. We've played with these totems long enough. It is time to crush their last hope." Back in the safe zone, the Amazing Spider-Man offers a helping hand to the superior Spider-Man, who just woke up from a knockout punch. 616 Parker admits that he will require the guidance of the superior Spider-Man in order to win this war. Pleased with the statement, Doc Ock decides to fold in and assist his new teammates. 616 Parker enters his role as the leader and begins to delegate orders to his Spider Army. He sends Spider-Girl and Spider-Gwen to assist Spider-Man Noir and retrieve Spider-Woman. He then sends Miles Morales and a younger Peter Parker off to other worlds to recruit more Spider heroes to fight for the Spider-Verse. Before 616 Parker departs with the Spider-Girls, he chooses Spider UK as a temporary leader until the true leader returns. Earth 67, the two young Spider-Men hunts down their target in the Daily Bugle building. This story will be continued in the Spider-Verse Team-Up Issue 2. Back on Earth 13, a spine-chilling spider sense is felt through all of the spider heroes. Seconds later, Morlun, Genix, and the father, Lord Solus, has arrived. Morlun takes out a spider hero, while Genix makes a quick meal out of a spider monkey. Cosmic Spider-Man has enough and unleashes a devastating blast at Genix, effectively turning the Inheritor into dust. Meanwhile, in Earth 802, Genix is reborn with all memory attached. Instead of returning to Earth 13 to re-engage in the battle, Genix commands his scientists to continue their tasks, because for Genix, there is still much work to be done. Back on Earth 13, the cosmic Spider-Man now turns his sight onto Lord Solus. The two engage in a battle of gods, effectively making the rest of the spider heroes too weak to even jump in to help. Cosmic Spider-Man prepares another blast, but Lord Solus grabs him by the head and begins to make a meal out of the most powerful spider hero in the spider army. Too shocked to even move, the spider army watches on as all hope fades from their bones. Morlun marches up to Mayday Parker and, just like that, he grabs baby Benjamin. Morlun states, "I have it, father. The scion is ours." After taking Benji from Mayday Parker, Morlun commands the Spider Weaver to open a doorway to take him out of this reality. The Spider Girl gives it her all to rescue her brother, but she is outmatched by the Inheritor. She screams in horror as the portal closes in front of her. Morlun and Benji has left the battlefield. Spider UK radios into the 616 Spider-Man screaming for help. Luckily for the Spider Army, Peter Parker and the Spider Girls has returned with backup. They have recruited Spider-Man Japan and he has brought his toy. A 50-foot tall mechanized robot now charges at Lord Solus. But even the gigantic robot is no match for the Inheritor father, who's juiced up on the cosmic Spider-Man. But the robot achieved its mission and gave the Spider Army enough time to retreat and regroup. Spider-Man commands the Spider Army to retreat, but unfortunately Spider-Man Japan has stayed behind with his robot to see the mission through. Mayday Parker reluctantly departs with her army, leaving Benji behind. Parker states, "If he's out there, I swear we will find him, but it's not safe for us here anymore." Lord Solus states, "Wrong, Spider Totem, it's not safe for you anywhere." Back on Earth 3145, even though it hurts to breathe in this reality, it appears that the Inheritors cannot even enter unless they want to risk their lives. Silk webs herself up for insulation and begins to trek forward in search for shelter. Earth 8847, the Spider Army arrives at a random world with dinosaurs as the dominant species. Seconds later, Spider-Man Japan teleports in. He luckily invaded Death, but his robot did not fare so well. Spider-Woman checks in with the army and informs her comrades that she has infiltrated the Inheritor's kingdom while impersonating a housemaid. Spider-Man states, "That was too convenient." Her conversation is cut short as the Spider Weaver grabs her attention. He states, almost as if it were all planned out, as part of some grand design. Peter Parker now checks in with Miles Morales and discovers that Morales has gained a few more soldiers for his army. Spider-Man 2099 makes contact, and we discover that Damos is subdued by an electromagnetic field and his cloned body is being worked on by Miguel and the Lady Spider. But the conversation has been interrupted by Lord Genix. The Inheritor explains how he has been listening in on their whole conversation the entire time. It was child's play, but now Genix must intervene. He relays their position to his sister, and within seconds, Verna and her hounds appear. She sends her hounds to attack. The two sides engage in a vicious battle, but the Spider Army is losing to Verna's hounds. Back on Loom World, we discover that the Weaver has been enslaved by the Inheritors for ages, but the Weaver has performed minor acts of defiance. He gives the Spider-Woman 2 scrolls which details the prophecies of the Other, the Scion, and the Bride. But before their conversation is interrupted, he tells her that there is something else in the scroll. Around the corner, Morlun gives Benji the Scion to Bricks for safekeeping. Jessica makes her appearance, but Morlun notices that her posture and body language is a bit different than normal. Back on Earth 8847, Parker receives the scrolls that the Spider-Woman had sent, but in the heat of battle, he does not know what to do. He begins to second-guess his leadership abilities. Suddenly, Silk radios in and gives the army the coordinates to her location, a place that she knows that the Inheritors could not go to. The doorway opens and the army departs, but this time Verna does not dare to give chase. She states, "Fools, let's see how long they will last in 3145. Arriving on location, the army feels the radiation firsthand, but Silk has left them clues on where to find her. They arrive at Ezekiel's bunker. As the door opens, Silk is the first to greet her comrades. She informs Parker that the spider totem of this world is already inside when she got here. The light turns on and Uncle Ben arrives to greet his nephew. Earth 3145. After the shocking reveal that Uncle Ben is this Earth's spider totem, we discover that he has hid in the bunker ever since a bomb prematurely blew up this world. To the superior Spider-Man's surprise, the bomb that laid waste to this Earth was built by this world's incarnation of Dr. Octopus. After the loss of his nephew Peter and his wife May by the hands of the Emerald Elf, Benjamin Parker is now a shadow of a great man that he once was. While the Spider Army engage in conversation, Silk and Spider-Gwen decide to teleport away to Loom World to rescue Spider-Woman. The Spider-Man of India begins to feel inferior compared to all of his other incarnations, but Spider UK consoles him, offering much needed courage to this young hero. The conversation shifts from Uncle Ben to the scrolls that Spider-Woman had sent to her teammates. The superior Spider-Man activates his personal hologram butler, Anna Maria, in an attempt to decipher the unreadable text, but unfortunately the hologram yielded inconclusive results. 616 Spider-Man, the true Peter Parker, recognizes Anna Maria and mentions her name. This fact shocks the superior Spider-Man to the bones. He now knows that he is indeed from the past, and the present Spider-Man stands right in front of him. Doc Ock now knows that he would evidently lose to Peter Parker. In a turn of fate, Anya, the Spider-Girl, is successful in reading the scroll. We discover that the spiders would be the key to ending the Inheritors' reign. But that win would not come to pass till 1,000 years from now. That gives the Inheritors 1,000 years to end the Spider Totems. We further discover that in order to stop future Spider Totems' births, the Inheritors need the blood of the Other, the Scion, and the Bride. After performing a ritual that would most likely end the 3 Spider Totems' lives, no future Spider Totems would be born in the multiverse, which would result in securing the future of the Inheritors. The Inheritor family got Benji, but fortunately for the army, they do not have Silk or Kane. After radioing Silk, the army discovers that she is now in Loom World, the home world of the Inheritors. Earth 802, Genex's cloning facility has been destroyed and the Scarlet Spiders have fulfilled their mission, but the price is too high and the Scarlet Spider Ben Reilly is now dead. Stricken by grief, Kane Parker teleports to Loom World to avenge his fallen brother, leaving the Black Widow behind. Earth 001, Loom World, the Inheritors have detected the overpowering set of Kane and Silk. Lord Solus gives the command and the greatest hunt of all for the Inheritors begins. Back on Earth 3145, Anya has a plan B in mind and takes a small battalion of Spider Totems to see her plan through. After discovering that Kane has also arrived on Loom World, Spider-Man radios into every single member of the Spider Army to converge on the Inheritors' home planet. This is it, all hands on deck. The Inheritors have Benji in custody and the Scion, plus the Bride has gone behind enemy lines without backup. Spider-Man 2099 receives the distress call, but needs 5 more minutes to finish something that could change the tide of battle. Black Widow has commandeered Genex's facilities and informs the team that they can freely radio each other without fear of Genex listening in. But she is stranded and needs someone to pick her up. Suddenly, Miles Morales and his Web Warriors resumes radio contact and has offered the Black Widow a ride to fight in a battle that could very well be their last. Loom World, a pissed-off Kane arrives with the Inheritor family waiting for him. He transforms into a hulking man-spider and takes out a few Inheritors. Lord Solus has waited centuries for this battle. He has never felt more alive. But before he can take his first shot, Kane strikes the Inheritor father down. Stricken by grief by the death of his father, Morlun incapacitates Kane. Even with the death of his father, Morlun must continue the ritual to secure the legacy of his family. Elsewhere on Loom World, Verna and her hounds of goblins have discovered the location of Spider-Woman, Silk, and Spider-Gwen. The Inheritor twins arrive as well, and the battle to claim the Bride begins. Back on Earth 3145, Uncle Ben is needed to join the army, but because of his failures, he feels incompetent. Peter unsuccessfully tries to motivate his uncle from this Earth, but in a twist of fate, the superior Spider-Man achieves his goals and wins over Uncle Ben. He now suits up to join the army in a war to save the Spider-Verse. Loom World, the war continues as Spider-Woman and Spider-Gwen battles the hounds of the Inheritors. Peter Parker and his Spider Army arrives to lend a helping hand, but Spider-Gwen demands that she is given space to finish off her battle. The army stands victorious, but unfortunately, the Inheritors now have Silk in their possession. Meanwhile, Morlun returns home and announces that their father is now dead. But Janix reveals that their father is not yet dead, but rather the essence of Lord Solus is in this red crystal. Even though Janix's cloning facility has been destroyed, their father is not yet lost. The Spider Weaver announces that the army has broken through and is now en route to the main chamber. Elsewhere, the Spider Army has breached the walls, but Verna and the twins are waiting. Parker calls on Miles Morales and his army, and thus the Web Warriors enters the fray. Parker leads his splintered team to continue their race to save Silk, Kane, and Baby Benji. In the ritual chamber, Morland and Damos prepares to bleed out Baby Benji with a dagger, but suddenly the amazing Spider-Man and the superior Spider-Man stops Morland from doing the unthinkable. The spiders engage the Inheritors. The superior Spider-Man gets his extra arms ripped to shreds by Damos. Mayday Parker is up next to take sweet revenge for her father. Parker calls on his Uncle Ben for help, but unfortunately, Spider-Ben has shown his cowardice and teleports away to safety. Outside, the battle rages on with the army taking a beating from Janix, the twins, and Verna. The Spider Army is losing ground, but suddenly, a doorway opens and in comes Karn. After all of these centuries, the prodigal son returns. The twins are overjoyed, believing that with the help of their lost brother, they will win this war. But then Karn states, "On your side, brother? For eons his family has spurned me, shunned me, brought me nothing but pain. I renounce my inheritance." The shadows behind the prodigal son enters the light, and an army of spider totems along with an inheritor are ready to enter the war. Karn states, "From this day forth, I shall fight on the side of righteousness." Back in the ritual chamber, Morland fights through the spiders to Baby Benji, but then he gets a hoof to the head. We discover that Spider-Ham has switched places with Baby Benji, and the cowardice of Uncle Ben was actually a ruse. Baby Benji is now safe with Uncle Ben in another reality. Back outside, even with Karn's help, the Spider Army is losing. A flash of light brings forth Spider-Man 2099, the Lady Spider, and the Leopardon, which brings sweet tears to the Japanese Spider-Man seeing his 50-foot-tall robot sidekick again. Back in the ritual chamber, the superior Spider-Man has had enough of this and comes up with his own plans to end the Inheritor's future. He goes for the Spider Weaver and slashes him in the throat. This act angers Morland and Peter Parker. Parker states, "That wasn't part of the plan. We are heroes, damn it, and heroes do not kill." Mayday Parker manages to take the essence of Lord Solus from Damos. She now holds the life of Damos' father in her hands. For the love of his father, this brings Damos to his knees. But Mayday finally sees the light and decides not to destroy the crystal. In memory of her father, she will not seek vengeance, only justice. Morland, angered by the loss of the Spider Weaver, viciously attacks Peter Parker. He begins to suck the life out of Parker, but the army arrives to prepare to attack the Inheritor. Gwen stops the army by telling them to stand down. Parker has a plan. Parker, with his essence leaving him, manages to activate a portal, sucking him and Morland through. They land on Earth 3145, the radiation zone. Parker has done it. He will sacrifice his life in the radiation-devastated world to trap Morland. But Parker is the hero of the story, and he cannot die. Silk sends Parker a lifeline, and thus he swings out of this world and back to Loom World. Later, Karn has the honors of throwing his siblings into Earth 3145, the radiated world. The next to enter is Damos, but he is confused as to why they would show him and his father mercy. Mayday Parker has nothing left to say to this Inheritor, and throws the soulless crystal into the radiation world for Damos to go fetch. The heroes regroup, but Peter Parker, who had a lot of his life essence drained, finally found time to relax in the arms of Cindy Moon. Loom World, hours later, the Spider Army says their farewells. Mayday Parker returns to her Earth to be reunited with her brother. She is greeted by Uncle Ben, who tells her that Benji is fine and is at the neighbors. But the good news is not over yet. The door opens and Mary Jane, her mother, along with her boyfriend Wes, is still alive. We discover that MJ survived the burnt down house as she pulled Wes out of the wreckage, but unfortunately, Peter Parker did not survive the battle with Damos. Uncle Ben asks to hold baby Benji one more time before he departs. But his world is gone, currently housing a family of inheritors. It is decided Uncle Ben will stay in this Earth and be a grandfather to baby Benji. MJ has a gift for Mayday. She passes on the Spider-Man costume to the Spider-Girl. It is time for Mayday to evolve, and today her story begins anew. She is not a Spider-Girl anymore. From this moment on, she is Spider-Woman. Back on Loom World, Miles Morales and the Black Widow prepares for their journey home, but not before Miles shares a bromance moment with Peter Parker. Spider-Punk prepares to leave, but not before informing Peter Parker to keep a close eye on Karn. Suddenly, a massive headache is felt by all of the Spider Totems. After realizing that it was not Karn who caused it, they ask, "Where is Otto?" They return to the ritual chamber where Octavius had killed the Spider-Weaver. Otto knows what his destiny is, and he rejects it. No one will dictate his future, not even destiny. No one will decide his future, no one but him. Back on Earth 616, Julia Carpenter, aka the Madam Web, wakes up from her coma while screaming, "The great web of life and destiny. Every strand is being severed. I see nothing." Loom World, due to the superior Spider-Man's tampering, the portals are closing fast. Parker orders Spider-Gwen and Miguel O'Hara to return back to their reality. The 616 heroes will jump on the next train home. Gwen and Miguel depart back to their reality, while the Spider heroes engage the superior Spider-Man. He pins down Anya and prepares to stab her with more than sacrificial knife. But the Spider-Girl notices that she can read the inscriptions on the blade. Parker enters the battle, giving Anya enough time to fully decipher the instructions. It reads, "There shall always be a Master Weaver, spinning at the center of the web." After hearing these words, Silk remembers how the Inheritors called her the spinner at the center of the web. She now believes that it is her destiny to be the Master Weaver. Anya continues to decipher the inscription. The remaining text reads, "Only death can release the Weaver from their sacred task." Silk now understands that if she takes on this role, it will be a lifetime position. Meanwhile, the superior Spider-Man continues to battle the Spider heroes for dominance. Silk approaches the Master Weaver, and after unmasking him, she notices that she has never seen his face before. Karn approaches and says that he recognizes the face. After unmasking, it is revealed that the Weaver and Karn shares the same face. Evidently, the weapon Karn forged as a child fits into the mechanism like a key, but only a Spider Totem is capable of spinning the web of life. Well, Karn has eaten his fair share of Spider Totems, so he has the essence running through his veins. Taking on the Master Weaver role will be his penance as well as his salvation. With newfound powers flowing inside of him, Karn is now able to send everybody home and repair the damaged web of life. The superior Spider-Man is outmatched and subdued. Karn explains that after the superior Spider-Man is sent home, he will have no memory of the Spider-Verse. With those words, Parker pushes Octavius through the portal, sending him back to his time. Karn now turns his focus to Spider UK. Unfortunately, Billy Braddock's home is completely gone. But the Spider UK knows too well as to what has happened. The incursions destroyed his home. He should have been with his corpsmen, but instead, he put the needs of the Spider Totems first. Silk inquires on the status of the Inheritors, and if they will survive Earth 3145. Karn opens a window showing them that his family will endure. They will survive as long as they keep eating the radioactive spiders of that world. Peter Parker takes a moment to reflect on all of the lost Spider Totems. Another one is added to the list. His friend, his brother, Kane. Without a home, Spider UK has taken on a new role. With the help of Karn, he will roam the multiverse in search of worlds that needs a Spider-Man. But he will not be alone in his journey. With her knowledge of the sacred text, Anya, the Spider-Girl, will join Spider UK on his journey. The heroes of Earth 616 returns home, but as our heroes depart from the sacrificial chamber, an arm breaks through the husk of the Scarlet Spider, Kane. Earth 616, the heroes have returned. They say their final farewells and Spider-Man swings off back to his regular life as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.